Okay, there's this listening comprehension. This one is a program about accidental inventions. So you will have to do exercises number 4, 5, and 6 on page 143. Okay, many inventions are not the result of careful planning and research, but are the result of accidents. Here are some examples. What did you have for breakfast this morning? Did you know that the invention of the most famous breakfast cereal of all, cornflakes, in 1894 was a complete accident? Dr. Kellogg and his brother were cooking some wheat to make cereal for their hospital patients. However, they had an emergency and had to leave. When they returned and tried to use the wheat, it broke into pieces. They didn't want to waste it because they didn't have much money, so they toasted it. And the patients absolutely loved it. Later, the Kellogg's did the same with corn and invented cornflakes. Another example dates back to 1928. The famous scientist Alexander Fleming left some bacteria in a petri dish, the little glass dish for cultivating germs in a laboratory. Anyway, he went off on holiday, forgetting to put the top on the dish or close the window. While he was away, some penicillium spores floated in through the window and onto the bacteria. When Fleming returned, he found that the bacteria were dead, and what we call penicillin was born. In 1970, Spencer Silver was a chemist at a company called 3M, and his job was to develop a super strong adhesive to stick aeroplanes together. But the glue he invented was so weak that you could easily unstick it. Spencer was disappointed. Then, 4 years later, his friend Arthur Fry wanted to mark the pages of his songbook and remembered Spencer's weak glue, which he put on pieces of paper to mark his place. Spencer's failure became sticky notes. My final example is an invention which imitates nature. Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral loved walking. He noticed that seeds from a particular plant always stuck to his trousers and were hard to pull off. He decided to study them under a microscope and found that they had little hooks, so he used the same idea to develop Velcro, which was invented in 1941. Originally, it was used for fastening clothes, but it became more famous in the 1960s when astronauts used it to stop the effects of zero gravity. Now it's used to fasten many of other things. People say that success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, but sometimes it's 100% luck.